Okay, I think you're live on both, but check Facebook.
Hello, am I live? I don't know if I am or if I'm not.
We're getting a green light from everything, so. Yay!
Hey, we're green lit.
Well, that's the apron I'm wearing. Is this the show? Okay, guys.
No, that's last show. No.
Okay. Linda, yes, I am selling those micas. Tell you, write yes to Linda, please. Alright, so today we are making Maid-Rites. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them first because these take a really long time to cook. They're super quick. I mean, it's like not even 5 minutes to make them, but excuse me, sorry. But they do bake quite a while, okay? So Maid-Rites. So my grandma grew up in Iowa, and she, I'm sure, got this recipe in Iowa. But when Heidi went to post this recipe on our grocery group, there proceeded to be a great controversy as to whether or not these are real Maid-Rites. Now, since Grandma grew up in Iowa, I assumed that they were real Maid-Rites, but I don't know. And I didn't feel like calling Grandma to talk to her about it right now because I had other things happening. So, I don't have any tomato juice, which the recipe calls for, and I had Ellie look at the store and she couldn't find any. So, I'm just taking some tomato paste and mixing up with some water to make me some tomato juice. Okay.
For those of you who are wondering, we were a little late because we had a technical problem, which we will describe a little later, which is the same reason why Jill's not here.
Yes, we will tell you about Mom getting robbed in just a little bit. Oof. Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 187.
You probably won't see her today on the
Mom won't be on here today. Maid-Rites right here. Page Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 187 is our Maid-Rites. Now,
saying something about the maids.
I will admit, Michael doesn't like these, so I have never made this recipe.
Well, is this the same thing as that stuff they make up in Loveland?
Yes. So, Mike does not like this. That's totally fine, but I have never made these because I always just ate them from Grandma. But what I'm going to do is I am not making a large batch. Now this makes a great freezer meal, which I'm going to give you some tips here in just a little bit on that, but I want to get this in the oven first, okay? This makes a great freezer meal, but since we don't eat it, I'm only going to do a third of the recipe, okay? So, we got our hamburger in here, and we've got our tomato juice. We've got our egg.
Yes, everyone, we'll talk about Jill after Tara does the recipe. And
yes, we'll talk about Mom when I'm done, but I want to get this in the oven. In case you're just joining us, Mom was robbed yesterday, and so we're going to talk about that. And then your onion powder and your salt, because the world needs more salt, people. It's fine, Dave. And just to see if Mike will eat this, I'll add a little bit of garlic powder because he eats anything with garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, can you just make me some normal?
Nope.
Aww.
Okay. And then you're going to take your bread and you're going to just make little pieces here, cube it however you want. Now this is a great recipe to use up all those breadcrumbs that you have. Like if you cut the crusts off the kids' sandwiches, this is a great one for that. If you want to save the crusts, which is great for bread pudding, croutons, all those kinds of things, just throw them in a bag in the freezer, a big zipper bag, Ziploc bag in the freezer. And then just pull out what you need. The crusts, if the boys, like my boys, don't like the crusts, this is a crust one. Okay, and then just get it all put in here. Now, this normally takes
The cat just.
an hour and a half to cook, and we will see. I'm going to cook it at a little slightly higher temperature just to see if we can get it moving for the show. I should have made a second one, but I didn't know we were going to have technical problems.
Stormy wants to know, how do you freeze garlic cloves?
Well, I've never frozen them, but what I would do is just chop them up and put them in a baggie in the freezer. I mean, put it on like a little tray and freeze it and then put them in a baggie.
Lynn wants to know, was that ground beef?
This is ground beef, bread, milk, which I forgot, tomato juice, and eggs. Dave, can you hand me the milk?
I'm resharing the recipe again for those of you who missed it in the comments. And so there are a lot of people asking what are Maid-Rites, and some people asking how did they get their name.
So Maid-Rites is a Midwestern loose meat sandwich. It's kind of like Sloppy Joe's, but it's not, it's kind of like Sloppy Joe's, but it's not Sloppy Joe's. Sloppy Joe's is more sweet and tomatoey, and this has a little bit of tomato in it, but not a ton. And the original, supposedly with the controversy on the Save on Groceries Facebook group. So if you guys haven't joined, go join our Save on Groceries Facebook group. Share recipes and tips. And we hit 50,000 subscribers, so we're doing really well.
I'm sharing the link here.
But according to the people on there who are from the Midwest, Iowa, I think, is where this recipe originated. It is not made with tomato at all there, but Grandma, who's from Iowa, has always made it that way.
Well,
So
I looked today, and there's actually a restaurant called Maid-Rite.
so it's an actual restaurant?
Apparently
is
so.
it? Okay.
I did not realize
So then
that.
what you're going to do is you're going to put this in the pan, and then you're just going to throw it in the oven and bake it. So you saw how quick and simple that was. And
Dave?
then what you're going to do is every few minutes you're going to stir it around until it gets crumbly. And you just keep doing that. So every 5 or 10 minutes, just go and stir it around until it gets crumbly. Now, this, well, go ahead and give me some questions while I'm washing my hands.
Sorry, I'm a little behind, so I haven't seen them all. Actually, a lot of people loving my shirt, dear. It was a good choice today. So Linda says no onions.
No,
Are there not onions in the actual recipe?
no, but well, just a second.
Oh, okay.
So you don't put onions inside, the mix. You put the onions on the bun with pickles, and it's super good. Now, Ellie picked up hamburger buns for me, and guess what they're selling at the store now?
A 4-pack?
A 4-pack of hamburger buns.
She didn't actually eat any of them?
No, Dave had one. So that's a little crazy. Never seen that before. Okay, so now while we're doing that, I'm gonna make some coleslaw. Mike will give you the recipe here.
Oh, oops.
While we talk about,
What happened to Jill?
well, no, I was gonna talk about what to do for freezer cooking.
Oh, okay.
Gotta stay on task here, dear. Gotta stay on task. Because all those people are going to be yelling at me saying, what are you doing talking about your mom getting robbed?
I think when you say robbed, people think somebody came to her face to face and like demanded money or something, but it wasn't that.
Well, what do you call it?
Well, police call it burglary if they're not home.
Oh, well, she was burglarized. Excuse me.
Two family wants
Oh, Darren's
to know
on. Hi, Darren. Sorry, go ahead,
Wants
Dave.
to know what?
Two family wants to know if I saw what arrived in the mail today. No,
If
I
what?
didn't. if I saw what arrived in the mail.
Mike didn't check the mail today.
In two families' mail today. Okay, never mind.
Oh, no, we didn't
Hold
see
on.
what
No.
arrived in your mail today. We need to go look and see. Are you working on all those molds, Darren? Or Daryl. Oh my goodness. Today,
You said Darren because I said Darren's on.
Today has been one of those days where every single thing I have put my hands to has gone wrong. So, okay. So, let's talk about freezer cooking for a minute while I get my stuff for the coleslaw. So, Mom sent me a video yesterday before she lost her computer. And, she said, and this is why I hate doing freezer cooking. And she sent me a YouTube channel. And I've seen this before on different YouTubers, and it absolutely makes me angry. It shouldn't make me angry, but it makes me angry. It makes me angry because...
What makes you angry?
Freezer cooking.
Oh. Because
these people spend 8 to 10 hours doing freezer cooking, and they get these meals... And then they have to spend 1 to 2 hours cleaning up. And she sent me this lady was cleaning up after her freezer meals. And she showed the mess she had.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, why are you people doing this? This is ridiculous.
Sorry, that was on a different...
And I think it's wrong for bloggers. It's just my opinion. So don't be giving me no lip. But I think it's wrong for people to say this is time saving when it's not, because I have added it up and it is not save time to make a whole bunch of freezer meals and do a huge freezer cooking in one day. It doesn't. And I've actually sat and figured, because there's one really popular blogger who likes to do that, who has a good number of children. And it actually takes longer to do the freezer cooking than to just make it up from scratch. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do real freezer cooking that's actually time saving and not just creating more work for yourself. Yes, Dave?
So we actually have questions if you're ready.
Apparently, Two Family Homestead, they got a bunch of candy from Israel.
Ooh, did Annika send them a package?
I don't know if it was Annika or...
Oh, cool. How nice. We'll have to go watch that video. Okay, so now I'm going to do my first stirring.
So we had quite a few questions and comments.
Stir it around like so. Okay, yes, give me your questions.
So, let's see. Christina's wondering, can you just do it on top of the stove?
No, you have to bake this one.
Okay. Teresa says, my first time here. Great to have you.
Thank you for joining us.
Denise, can I use tomato sauce instead of tomato juice?
Yes, just add a little bit of extra water. Add like at least double the amount of water.
So, Carla, your ingredients look more like meatloaf. A couple people said that.
So basically what it is meatloaf that is not shaped in a meatloaf. I don't know how you say that. Or meatball.
But it's like, the ground beef is just like little pieces, right?
Yeah.
It was from
So it's not,
Annika.
It's loose meat.
Yeah. So, a lot of people are struggling because they're thinking of the Maid-Rite restaurant. So these aren't exactly the same as that. This is Grandma's Maid-Rite recipe.
Apparently not. Grandma's from Iowa, which is, I guess, where the restaurant is from.
But
And I always thought that she just had the original recipe, but apparently she adapted it and I didn't know it. So apparently this is not exactly like the original. And we had a place in Wichita called New Way, which was basically the same thing. And so this is a Midwest food. So if you're not from the Midwest, you probably have no idea what it is.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily the restaurant recipe. This is Grandma's Maid-Rite recipe.
Apparently, and I didn't know that, so.
So Joanne is asking, can it be fried?
Not really. No.
And Wenda's asking why you use milk for a loose meat dish. Do you know why?
I have no idea.
Okay. And there are some people asking, what are you making? Because they're just joining us.
So I have Maid-Rites in the oven, and I got those made up, and now I'm making coleslaw. This is going to be our dinner, which, as I said, no one's real happy about, but that's what we're going to be eating. Maybe we'll see if I add an onion, if Mike will be convinced. If I put garlic in.
Yeah, the reason why I don't like New Way or something is because it's just unseasoned meat at their restaurant. But you know me, garlic and salt and onion, all that stuff is awesome. So let's see. We had some others. Malcolm could use a saute pan instead of the oven, so you said no. Kendra. Oh, she's just talking about bulk freezer cooking. I've done bulk freezer cooking and won't do it like that again. One benefit, I do think it provides you don't have to think about cooking after the freezer meals are done. But she obviously doesn't like it. So.
Ow, I didn't need that finger for anything. Our finger's optional. I really need to get me another salad shooter for cooking instead of just my soap. Okay, so here's the thing with freezer cooking, guys. Once again, I am about as anti-freezer cooking as it gets, but I use my freezer all the time for freezer cooking. And you guys are going to say, what? What do you mean by that? Okay, so here's what I mean by that. Use these tips, and there's 3 of them, to help you get freezer cooking, and this will help you get your meals on quicker without wasting time doing meals that are ridiculously complicated. Like some of these YouTubers I've seen do this, I have actually sat and calculated, and they spend a half an hour for each of the meals that they've made. That is absolutely ridiculous. Most of the time I don't even spend 15-20 minutes making dinner.
Are you just
now I'm doing more today, but that's because I need to chit chat. So
It's gonna go down. It's not enough to.
number 1, freeze your, I'm just grating up cabbage and carrots. Number 1, freeze your individual ingredients. So what do I mean by that? So freeze your browned hamburger. So I get 10 pounds of hamburger at a time. I throw it all in my Dutch oven. If you don't know what a Dutch oven is. Sorry, Buster. This is what a Dutch oven is, okay?
Sorry.
I just throw it all in there, 5 pounds at a time. Cook it all up while I'm doing something else. And then I drain it and I put it in the little fold top bags for school. And then I put those in a big freezer bag. Do the same with shredded pork, shredded chicken, with your chicken breasts and marinade. So here's how I do that. I take, and when I am making a chicken with marinade, let's say I have a whole family pack out. What I'll do is take that, cook half of it for dinner, and throw the other half in marinade in the freezer for later. Or if I get home from the store and it's already defrosted, I'll rip all the chickens open, dump them in individual freezer bags, throw the marinade on, and then throw it in the freezer. You can freeze things like bananas, pre-chop them when they start getting brown, chop them up, throw them in the freezer, and make smoothies. Frozen vegetables that are already chopped up. When I get peppers on sale and I'm waiting for something to cook for dinner, or I just have a few minutes, I will sit and chop as many as I can, throw them in a freezer bag, and they're already pre-chopped. So do your individual ingredients, and that'll cut half the time right there. And then what I like about the frozen ingredients, so let's say you have your shredded chicken. You could use it for chicken noodle soup, you could use it for chicken enchiladas, You could use it for sweet and sour chicken, whatever you want. Then you're not stuck with one dinner that you have to have. So if you just want something different, you can just use the individual ingredients to make whatever you want.
Quick pause. If you're just joining us, Tara has made the Maid-Rites and they're in the oven, and she is currently making the best coleslaw recipe ever.
Yep. Okay, now, next, number 2. Cook your freezer meals in the oven. Now, here's another issue I have with freezer meals. Oh, hello. Are we having a rough day? Did you tell everybody that you had to bring all your school supplies home from school on Friday so Mom could shoot the video, and then you had to take all your school supplies back to school this morning?
See, when you said that, I thought you were joking.
I was not. Did your teacher think Mom was crazy?
You bet she did.
You bet she did. Here's my other beef with freezer meals.
Oh, sorry. You're throwing beef in there, I see.
Oh! Did you see that? Oh! Oh!
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness!
That
It's
is
all
nasty.
over me. Oh, and it's empty. Oh, good grief. How can... Okay, hold on. I gotta clean myself up here. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. My other beef with freezer meals is they taste nasty when people eat them or when people cook them. And
Annika's on! Shalom, all of you. Have missed you a lot. We missed you too.
hello, Annika. We've missed you. I hope you're doing okay. So I've just put my mayonnaise in with my cabbage and my
Your mayo's your mayo's
sugar
on
and
your-
mayo are all in here with my cabbage and carrots. Okay, so the next thing with freezer meals
Sugar and mayo?
is they are just nasty when you cook them. They're, I still got it on my chest.
on your neck, like neck chest. Yeah, there you go, got it.
They get all watery and gross and slimy. I can't stand that. That's why I can't stand crock pot food. So, now what? Did I get it off?
I think you did.
Okay.
Jamie's like, mayo on Tara's neck.
And so that's another reason why I don't like cooking in the crock pot, because it just gets all slimy and gross.
Ew.
So, when you can, cook your stuff in the oven. Okay, so let me show you where we're at here.
So when you've got time, we've got some questions and some comments.
Hold on. So here it is, guys. So then you just stir it
Flip it
around,
over.
Jack.
and then you just keep stirring it.
Ew.
Gotta love my children.
That
Okay,
actually
so then
looks
you
like
just
mud.
stir it up again.
For those of you asking, we'll talk about Jill after we get done with the cooking and the freezer meals. She's okay. So that's...
So when you go to cook your meals, cook them in the oven. It's fall now, here in Colorado at least.
No,
It will be
it's not.
fall in a couple of weeks in the rest of the country. When you cook them in the oven, it just tastes so much better. I mean, by a long shot.
So you did say it needs to be made in the oven, right?
Yes.
Okay, because somebody else was asking about a heavy aluminum Dutch
Yeah.
oven.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The trick to having cooking food in the oven so that it's moist and not dried out is to cook it low and slow. Let's all say that together. Cook it low and slow. One more time. Low and slow. So what am I saying? When you put a roast in there or whatever, your pork roast, your beef roast. Am I just talking to myself?
No,
Okay.
you're not supposed to
Then,
acknowledge that we're doing tech work.
Put it in your oven at 200 degrees for 8 or 10 hours. And then it'll cook really nice and slow and get really moist. So then when you shred it up and put it in the freezer, it's not already dried out in the freezer when you go to use it for your other for your other meals, okay? I only use the crock pot for things like soups, stews, broths. That's the only time I use my crock pot. Okay, so then number 3. And this kind of goes back to number 1, but okay, taste the coleslaw. What do you think? Is it delicious? Let's see.
I love
What
this
do you
coleslaw.
make,
I always. This truly is the best coleslaw ever.
Yum. Oh man, that's really good. Let me have another bite.
I'm going to reshare the coleslaw recipe right now. Oh, I didn't add the coleslaw to the show notes, so I'll go at it. By the way, as I'm going to add this coleslaw recipe to the show notes, if you're new here or if you just forgot, I do all the links that we share, like for the recipes and stuff. If you miss them in the comments, when I paste them in the comments, we have them in the show notes. If you go to livingonadime.com and click show notes, they'll be there. So, all right. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, so first of all, guys, both of the Maid-Rites and the coleslaw are in our Dining on a Dime cookbook right here. Okay. So the next thing for freezer cooking, which kind of went with tip number 1, but seriously, just stop doing the big freezer cooking days.
Wait. Music Matt says milk keeps the meat moist. Water or stock broth does not.
Okay, well, there
Maybe
you go.
that's why.
I didn't know that. Everyone says, oh, it saves me so much time doing freezer meals. That is a load of hooey. I have decided I am having a no baloney zone around here. I'm telling you.
Bologna.
Here's the thing. It takes me less time. So here's how I do it. Let's say I get 10 pounds of ground beef. I divide half. I cook 5 of it up into hamburger. While I'm making tacos or whatever, I cook the whole thing. Then I just divide it into baggies and put it in the freezer. The other half, the next night, I'll make into meatballs, but I'll make the entire 5 pounds into meatballs or meatloaf. And in case you're wondering, meatballs and meatloaf are the same exact recipe, basically. So how do I do freezer cooking? That's how I do it. I just double or triple the recipe. It literally takes 3 minutes more to just double or triple your recipe for things like enchiladas, barbecue meatballs, shredded beef, shredded chicken. When I have a roast chicken, I'll just shred it up, add some barbecue sauce, throw it in the freezer, and I'm ready. Or I'll leave the barbecue sauce off and just throw the chicken in the freezer. So stop doing the large freezer cooking days where you're spending 10 hours cooking and 1 or 2 hours cleaning. And then you're tired and you're worn out when it doesn't really save you any time. So I spend 15 minutes a day cooking dinner and I'm done and I move on with life. And that's all there is to it. So stop making things hard on yourself when you don't need to. Yes, dear.
Okay. Oops, sorry. I was just... if you're on Facebook and you say something kind of negative, I'm banning trolls right now. So if I mistake you for a troll, I will ban you. So don't say anything that's super negative.
Okay, do I need to get my new... I have a new product I'm selling.
I've already handled it.
I have a new product I'm selling.
I've already handled it.
Go to Amazon. Show them the new product we're adding to the store.
Hold on a minute. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
What?
Go to Amazon. I'm going to show them the new product I'm selling. Okay, here. Hold on. Okay, so here's my new product that I'm selling, guys. Right here.
Oh, come on.
Mom, this is family.
Here we go. Okay, so for all you people who are having issues, there's my new product I'm selling.
It's the family size bottle.
So you can take it more than once if you need to.
So actually most people are good, but there were just some. So we have some questions and some comments. But, okay.
So for the freezer cooking, stop making it complicated. Freeze individual ingredients, double or triple your recipes, and cook it in the oven. That is how you actually really save time, and you don't kill yourself and make yourself worn out doing it. So, yes.
All right. So
I have some more dreamsicle soap that I'm going to cut while we talk about Mom's burglary.
Wait, so I missed it. Did you talk about how you tend to do freezer meals, where you
Yeah.
do a little extra as you go?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was in the midst of a lot of other stuff. So
Yes.
Okay, so we had. I think you already said this, but Kendra said my version of freezer cookies make up 2 of something, meatballs, casserole, etc. Freeze 1 serving, cook 1. That's what you do, right?
Yep, that is the best way to do it. Dreamsicle, homemade soap making supplies.com.
And yeah, Sharon says I'm not so sure freezer meals are to save total time.
They don't. And listen, if you just like freezer cooking, that's totally fine. I have no issue with that at all. But what makes me angry is when women get the idea in their head that these other women are doing things and it's saving them time and energy, and it's not. One time I knew this blogger, and she said, oh, it was great. We got 70 freezer meals. I had my 5 sisters and friends over, and they spent like 5 hours cooking 70 freezer meals with 5 of them.
What?
And in the end, they each came home with like 12 meals.
And don't they sometimes hire babysitters and stuff like
Yeah,
that too?
and the mom was babysitting all the kids. I'm sorry. If I had 12 meals in 5 hours, just shoot me in the head. It should not take 5 hours to make 12 meals. That's crazy.
Thanks to everyone who's liking Mike's shirt.
Okay, so here's the next round right here.
So,
We're stirring it again.
hey, adulting, good to see you back on again. So somebody earlier was asking about salt. What can you use instead of salt
Well-
if you have a salt problem?
I don't know, whatever you normally use, I guess. I have no idea. I don't do salt-free diet, so I don't know. I mean, Mrs. Dash, I guess, or something if you'd like. I mean, I'm sure that would taste okay. But back to my little rant here. I wasn't finished. I don't want you to feel pressured as a wife and a mom, or even if you're a single person, whoever you are. I don't want you to feel pressured when you see these moms with 15 kids, or see these people, working moms with 2 kids, and they spend all day Saturday and Sunday cooking
That's ridiculous.
for the next month, and think, oh, why can't I do that? You know, maybe physically it's not the best idea to be doing. And there are quicker ways. And quite frankly, guys, those are just ways that they're getting YouTube views. So even though that's fine, if you enjoy doing freezer cooking, go for it. I have no issue with you at all. If you like doing it, go for it. But do not feel guilty if you don't have the time or the energy to do huge freezer batch cooking. Okay, that's what I got to say about that.
All right. And this isn't going to look this isn't going to look like this when it's done. Obviously, when it's done, it looks like kind of meat that just kind of falls off like giant sand.
Well, I turned the temperature up, so it may be done by the time the show's over.
Because some people were a little alarmed at how it looks right now. But the thing is, anything you look at in the middle isn't going to be what it actually is. So, we had some other things. Let's see.
Dreamsicle soap, homemade soapmakingsupplies.com if you want it.
Well, a little off topic, but Tammy said, I was wondering if you're experiencing any smoke from all the fires.
Yes, and it is horrible.
It's so thick that we can normally see the mountains very clearly off to our west, and we can't see them at all. And we can't even see halfway to the mountains. And when you look off in just a little bit of a distance, everything is really kind of grayish, brownish, hazy.
Yeah, it's given us really bad we've all got really bad headaches, and we're all having to take allergy medicine because it's been a mess. So.
And we have a lot of fires in Colorado, but apparently the smoke is coming from other states.
I think that this batch is from Montana, maybe. I'm not sure.
I was wondering.
Because what happens here in Colorado is it comes down and gets trapped against the mountains, and then it stays against the mountains.
Actually, it was above the mountains last night.
And you would think that with all the rain we've been having, which is not normal for us, we have been loving it. With all the rain that we've been having, you would think that would do something, but it hasn't.
I didn't see the name, but somebody just asked, how do you defrost the frozen cooked beef hamburger that you make?
You can just sit it on the counter for an hour or so, or you can throw it in the microwave.
Beautiful soap. Okay, yeah. Well, before we get into the Jill story, because we have a few that I think are related to the question. Stephanie says, cooking would save me so much money. Just do it!
Yeah.
Christy wants to know, why are you cutting soap with a knife and not a cutter?
Because this is melt and pour soap and it will break my cutter.
Can you see it, Dave?
So let me say something about just do it. And you are right, whoever that was. Here's the thing.
Here's the soap, by the way.
About even going out to eat.
You want to show them the bar?
People say I don't have time to cook, but here's the deal. By the time you drive home from work, get the kids and the husband in the car, you can go back up, Dave, and go back to the restaurant, you spend half an hour waiting for your food, you spend a half an hour eating, then you spend an hour driving each way, because of course it's rush hour. So then, let's say you spend 2 hours getting dinner to save you time. Not only that, then you have to work 4 hours, 5 hours to pay for that dinner. You have to think, how much is it really costing you? So what it's really costing you is not only the cost of the dinner, but the 2 to 3 hours driving there and eating and all that, and the 3 to 6 hours, depending on your wages, to pay for it also. So that's where you've got to really calculate the true cost. So, anyway.
So there are a lot of people that are saying it came in late.
Oh.
What's in the oven?
So we made Maid-Rites. There you go. I got one left. This one's a super big one, but somebody will get a bonus bar here.
Jamie wanted you to show them how you save money on the sandwich baggies.
So on the sandwich baggies, what I do is...
Yeah.
Gay says that's the prettiest soap you've made.
Aw, thanks.
It does look like dessert, Jackie. I always thought that.
So on the sandwich baggies, what I do is I use these fold top bags, you know, the kind that fold down and then fold over. And this is what I put my shredded meat, my shredded pork, and my shredded beef, my shredded pork, my shredded chicken, and then my ground beef. I put them in here, and then I put them in a big freezer bag. I can reuse the big freezer bag, and these are cheaper than individually freezing in a freezer thing.
And then a bunch of them in a Ziploc.
Yeah, and I put them in a Ziploc. Okay, so now for your toppings for your thing while you're done, you're gonna need some onion slices and some pickles, okay? So we're gonna check and see where we're at with the Maid-Rites.
So the Maid-Rites are like a kind of a sandwich with loose hamburger meat and pickles and stuff like that. And this actually isn't what it looks like when it's done.
Well, it's close actually. That's what it looks like close.
Oh, it's gooky like that when it's done? Oh.
It's loose meat.
I was having to say gooky like your mom. Oh, I thought it was like the picture we put on there.
Well, that's what do you think the picture was?
It doesn't look as gooky, nearly as gooky as that. It looks like hamburger, like when you freeze the hamburger and you defrost it, is what the picture looked like, and that's what I thought this looked like.
I see.
Is that not true? No, that's okay if it's not.
I don't know. That was the closest I could get to it. Okay.
I see. So we have some.
Sorry.
I'm just
Did I
asking because
disappoint
everybody's
everyone?
asking if it looks like that normally. I thought it looked like kind of taco meat on a bun.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
not. I mean, that's kind of what it's looking like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So way back there.
Okay. So let me talk to
wait.
Mom.
Christy says she washes her freezer.
There were still questions about the food, I thought.
Okay.
That I was trying to get to. Vonnie, how long do you keep cooked meats? I've always been told once hamburger was cooked, it can only be frozen 3 weeks.
Oh,
Have you found this to
no.
be different?
Good grief. I keep my frozen meat 3 to 6 months. I mean, you'll have freezer burn if you keep it a long, long time, but 3 months is easy. Yeah.
So Amanda said if she's low carb, can she skip the bread and use pork rinds?
I have no idea. You can try it.
And Renita wanted to know, there were other food ones, but not specifically about this. Renita wanted to know, I'd like to see you using the soap on your hands to see how much it lathers. It's so beautiful. Do you use...
This one? Well, I can if you want. Here.
All right, and then you'll tell about your mom.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. So here's my little scrap pieces that I cleaned out of the bowl right here. Okay. So I'll just pull one off. So about Mom. So what happened was yesterday, she went to look at houses with my brother, and when she came home, I'm having a hard time getting it grasped in my hand.
Do you have your little net thingy?
Yeah, I need to get my soap net. Well, I didn't pick the best piece to do it with. Maybe I should do it with the big one. I didn't want to get the big one all wet, but oh, now my ring's falling off. So she came home from looking at houses with my brother, and her doors were open to her house, both of them, both her front door and her back door. And so she called my nephew. There, now we're getting it. Sorry guys, just took me a minute. There we go.
Yay!
So she called my nephew to come over, and he came over, and they went into the house together in case there was someone in the house at the time. And come to find out, someone had broken in and had taken her 2 computers. She had an old one and then the one she's using now.
Oh,
Taken her purse, which did not have her wallet in it, thankfully, because she had taken it with my brother. And, it smell good?
Yes.
And they took her $1,000 she had laying on the table because she was getting ready to take it to the bank. So she did all that, and then she called the police at 5. They didn't show up till 11 p.m. So she had to stay awake after all of that. So she's pretty worn out. But now my brother got her another computer. My brother works on computers, and his job gets rid of computers all the time. Just tells them to take them, so he doles them out whenever somebody needs one. So he got her another one, but we don't have her up and going yet. But just so you guys know, she's going to be here this weekend. Her and my nephew and them, they're coming. And so she's going to be on the show Monday. No idea what we're talking about yet. We need to kind of figure that out, I think.
For those of you who were here at the beginning of the show and we had a little problem, and then on the Facebook side we didn't get started right away, it's because as part of that deal we had to cancel all of Jill's accounts, and one of them caused us not to be able to stream to Facebook, so we had to hurry up and fix that. So
Yep.
Mike failed at unplugging the phone. Yes, I did, Heather. Jeannie wants to know, did I just see Wickles Pickles sitting on the counter? Is that what these are?
Yeah.
You
I
did.
just found these at Walmart.
They're really good.
Okay, I'm really going to boost the heat on this one just because I want to get the show done.
So instead we're cooking at 45,000 degrees.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tanya says Maid-Rites are like sloppy joes without the tomato sauce. Is that
Yeah,
right?
usually. So I didn't know that Grandma put tomato in there. But yeah.
Michelle, Tara says, no, you can't really cook it on the stove to get it the way...
I guess if you just stirred and stirred and stirred, you might be able to. But it's really best if you bake it.
Oh, Lexi's on! Question from your loving niece. Do you have soap for acne? My face is oily and my nose and chin and forehead, and I've been trying to look basically forever to find a good face soap.
Well, I know someone who makes wonderful teen facial soap.
For your wonderful niece. Yes.
Maybe if she throws me a hug or two through the computer, I might send a few bars home with her mother.
We're glad you're here.
Yes, I have some that works really good. I'll send it home with your mom.
All right, let's see. There's more questions. There are more other questions from before if you want to go back over them. Karen says had a little bit of pork roast left over, so made pulled pork, cooked a couple potatoes with garlic, herbs, and butter, and had a 99-cent bag of frozen peas.
Wow.
Deanna said, why didn't she call the police? Well, she did call the police. Well, she said, or is her nephew a police officer? At first, she wasn't sure if somebody had actually gotten in the house, but she wanted to go in and see if something was awry besides the door being open.
I think I'm going to throw it in here and see if this will work.
But she called her nephew because, or her grandson, because she wanted to make sure something actually happened before she called the police, and she didn't want to walk in not knowing if something had happened. So. Yeah. But when she called the police, it took them like 6 hours to get out there.
She called them at 5 and they didn't get there till 11.
So.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy.
Jackie says your mom needs a protected by gnome sticker for her computer.
I know.
Yeah. Let's see. There were some other things on there, but I was looking to see if there were
So,
any more.
I mean, she wasn't hurt or anything, so that's fine. So it's just more of a pain in the rear type thing, but still.
It's like getting your house blown away by a truck. Well, no, actually, it's nothing like getting your house blown away.
Melissa says smart move to cancel all the accounts, redo everything. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff with her of Jill's that probably wouldn't have been a problem, but we went ahead and canceled it all anyway, just to make sure. Oh, when I say we, it's the things that were connected to living on a dime. Did they break the door down? No.
No, they didn't.
So yeah, and her friend next door was home, but apparently.
Well, and you know what we think what happened was he didn't go downstairs to get anything, but you know what we think he did? We think he whacked his head.
On
that thing and got mad and left.
Yay.
Mom has this, her stairs are horrible.
She has a trick.
And you have to duck when you go down the stairs. Well, if you don't know you have to duck.
You smack your head really hard.
If you don't know you have to duck, it beans you in the brain every time. I've done it like 20 times. It makes me so mad. So I bet he beaned himself and then he left.
Good. Charlotte says, love your easy recipes and methods.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I watch these cooking shows.
People make it too complicated.
And they make it so complicated. I'm like, seriously, people, this does not need to be complicated.
Ooh, that's smelling good. Oh, see, that's kind of starting to look more like what I was thinking. So just as a refresher for the people that are asking why you were cooking with a knife, it's because this is melt and pour soap and not her regular or cold or hot process. Oh. And melt and pour is too hard? Yeah. Melt and pour is too hard for the regular soap.
Don't forget your ring on the counter. Sagittarian wants you to tell you.
Oh, yeah, probably would be good. So Dave doesn't throw it in the trash like he did when he was 2.
Hey, I haven't done it since.
And Mom appreciates it. Ooh. So David threw away my original wedding ring when he was 2. It went missing, and we were talking about it like 2 days later after the trash had come. And he said, oh, I threw that in the trash.
Oops.
Oh, well.
She's been, when she was gardening, she used to, I think one time she hammered her finger and flattened the ring on her finger.
Yeah, one time I dropped a 4x4 between the pickup and the 4x4. My hand got stuck and flattened it. I flattened a ring, I don't know how many times. But.
So Laura says, frozen chopped bananas make great ice cream.
Yeah.
We actually have a video on our YouTube channel that we made when we were breaking them up.
Yeah.
The trip to Breaker was pretty hilarious.
Dave, can you hand me a plate?
Donna says I buy some veggies like peppers when they're on sale, then cut them up and put them in a freezer bag.
Yep, that's what I do.
A latte or a paper plate?
I don't know, that's fine. I just think it's kind of sad that people go to all this extra work.
Ooh, that's good.
And wear themselves out when they don't need to. It's crazy, but I don't know.
Hate that happened to your mom. She's such a sweet person. Yes, she is. But did he leave DNA?
Okay.
I don't know if they tried to fingerprint it, but I don't think they did a whole lot more beyond that.
Oh, okay. Let's see if Mike will like this one. I don't know.
So look for the guy with the big knot on his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Rhonda. Good to see you again.
Exactly.
Ginny says they have a Simply Safe system in their house for $25 a month. Actually, there were some things I had contemplated in that way that might help in a situation like that. Although this person, I think this was a kid. Actually, I should say why after I eat this. This is way better than the place in Colorado that I didn't like. I think it's because you put some seasonings on it. Man, this is really good.
But see, I've never made it for you because you always say how much you hate it. So
Well,
I can make it now for you.
I said I don't like the place in Loveland.
So I can make
New
it for
way.
you now.
This is delish. Yeah, man, I guess I shouldn't eat it all while we're talking. It's really good. It's really good,
Everyone
guys.
hungry.
And for the people who are, I don't want to wipe it on there. By the way, somebody said, where do you get your awesome aprons? And that is like the most beautiful one ever.
This is the one Mom made for me.
Sorry, let's see.
I don't think they're for sale. I don't know if they are.
No, she doesn't sell them.
Carla, my mother used to make Maid-Rites all the time when I was little. Never watched close enough to see how she cooked it.
That's
This
all it
is
is.
really good, guys.
Simple, page 187, Dining on a Dime cookbook.
Heather wants to know, does cooked meat last longer than raw meat when frozen?
I don't think it
I
matters.
think when frozen, it's about the same. But one thing, if it's frozen, you can defrost it and cook it and then refreeze it, and it'll last longer that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tell her to be careful a lot of the time they come back. Oh, you know what I was going to say about this? I think this might have been a kid or something because the computer was plugged into the wall. This is a laptop that has a plugged power supply. But her house is not a grounded house. An old house only has 2-prong plugs. And the person unplugged it and took the adapter off and set the adapter down and then left. And I'm thinking, somebody who was really like a professional thief, they just yank everything and run. So this person obviously wasn't very smart. And there were a lot of things that more professional people would do. This person obviously didn't. So I'm thinking, I tend to think it was probably a kid, or it doesn't seem like it'd be somebody on drugs. There was a reason why I said that, but I can't think of why.
Anchors and arrows. I don't have 15 kids, but I do have 10, and I'm pregnant with 11, and I have no desire to spend an entire weekend or even entire day prepping meals.
Amen.
No kidding. And you guys here, listen, let me just say, I know I'm harping on
You
this.
say I'm going to eat.
But that is great for those people getting YouTube views. I'm glad they can do it. That's great. If they want to spend, 10 to 15 hours prepping and doing all that, great, go for it. But in real life, do not compare yourself to those people. What do you want? When what they are doing is not realistic and is not good for your health. It's not good for your family, for you to be that stressed out doing all that. So don't compare yourself to those people when they're doing, all these crazy big cooking things.
Okay, guys, I have to tell you, I'm pasting this recipe in again. You should go make this. I know some people observed in the middle that they didn't think it looked that great, but now that it's done, it is amazing.
And it looks
But I've never made it for you either.
I'm sharing the link. And what page is it on in the cookbook? Somebody was
187.
asking.
187.
In our
not
dining.
exaggerating.
So I'm
You're
sharing
not-
the cookbook link just in case you guys don't have it.
You're not exaggerating how good it is, right?
No, I really like it, but I think it's because the one I had at the restaurant that I didn't like, that wasn't yours. It just tasted like there was no seasoning on the meat.
Oh.
And see, I'm all about seasoning. Particularly, I really like salt and garlic and onion. And this has all of those, and pickles too. So there you go. Margaret, love dreamsicles. Is that what the soap flavor is?
Yes.
Let's see. Watching Might Eat makes me want to go eat. It is really good. I normally don't eat it on the show, but since Tara was talking. Oh, I thought, what? Oh, so I did post the link, but I'm going to post it again. I just posted the one for the Maid-Rites, and I'm posting the coleslaw recipe again because some people are asking. If you miss any of these recipes and you don't see them in the comments, you can go to livingonadime.com and click show notes, and everything that we've been talking about here is in the show notes. Are those sweet? Those are sweet or dill? They're kind of in the middle, aren't they?
They're like a combination between sweet and dill. They're really yummy.
This is the Wickles. Apparently, this is a brand that a lot of people like, and we just discovered it.
They just got it here
But
in
they're
Colorado.
really good.
Yeah.
So
I like trying different pickled foods. I like trying all the pickled veggies and all the pickles and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always looking on the pickle aisle when they have something new.
Yeah.
Like the spicy one. I like the, is it Dave's? I like those. Those are really good.
Yep.
So,
Oh, Melissa, this is my first time watching a live
Welcome.
cooking feed. I stumbled across it. Hi from Pennsylvania. I like it, and the interaction with viewers is cool. We go live on Monday and Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Mountain. So in Pennsylvania.
I
is
hope
that
you're
Eastern?
not floating away. Man.
So thanks. We're glad you're here. All right. So, are you wanting to go?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I didn't miss anything major, but if so, come back and ask us on Wednesday.
All right, guys. We'll
This
be
is
back
really good.
Wednesday.
Be sure and make this, and if you don't have a copy of Dining on a Dime cookbook,
Grab your copy
grab
today.
it. It's
Wednesday, I don't know what I'm cooking. Monday, I don't know what we're doing, but Mom is going to be here on Monday.
Did you guys
So-
order new books yet?
yeah. When we get your mom will be here. Will Shayla be on too?
I don't know, maybe.
All the ladies are going to be on together.
Hopefully.
My
So-
sister-in-law and my mother. So Shayla of Shayla Ham and Noodles in Dining on a Dime cookbook. She'll probably be on here too.
Mm-hmm.
She just doesn't know it yet.
But we're sure glad you all came today.
I think we should surprise her.
Shayla?
Yeah.
Just put her on the show.
Surprise! You're on the show.
Just have her in the other room doing something, saying, "Hey, Shayla, can you come here for a second?" Oh, by the way, it's live. Actually, she wouldn't mind being live.
That's funny.
I think she does all right.
All right, guys, have a good night. Please visit us at livingonadime.com and go out there and save yourself some time and some money. We'll
Yeah.
see you guys on Wednesday.
Yep, have a great couple of days. Bye.
I forgot how to do this. Okay, bye.
Say bye, maybe. That's awesome.